Alright folks, in this video I'm going to talk about when is buying original a good idea, when it's not a good idea, when it's good to go with an aftermarket, when it's good to go with something else that still fits. This is the original Mercedes auxiliary water pump, and this water pump is made by Bosch and it's made in Germany, and it costs around $300 whether you buy it at Mercedes or whether you buy it at FCP Euro. By the way, I buy a lot of my stuff from FCP Euro. I had a keychain somewhere. But anyway, so from FCP Euro, the original one that's made by Mercedes with the Mercedes logo costs around $300. And it's actually made by Bosch. And you can tell it says Bosch here. You can see the Bosch logo right here. And, sorry, it's out of focus. But you can see it says Bosch here. And even on the metal part here, it's imprinted, and it's a bit dirty, but it's imprinted Bosch right here in big letters. Probably not focusing, but anyway, it's here, and it also has the Bosch logo. I keep mispronouncing it. But anyway, this is the Mercedes one that was in my ML320, and a replacement one for it costs around $300. Now you can pick up an OEM, so this would be an OEM, which would be made by Bosch, but it does not have the Mercedes logo on it. And I couldn't find it, although this one does not have Mercedes logo on it anywhere, and does not even have a Mercedes part number on it. It just says 0392020044, and let me just look at this one, 0392020044. So maybe Mercedes does not stick the logo on it and get one and make one without their logo. So this is probably the same as this. So I would say this probably sells for around $300 as well. Now you could go with an aftermarket one. The one that they've seen sell is made by Victor Reins, and that sells for about $200. Obviously I don't have a picture of it, and I don't know where it's made, so it's somewhat questionable. But the weird thing is, this is made for Volkswagen. It's also made by Bosch, and it's also made in Germany, and this sells for about $60. So let's look at this weird comparison. This is made by Bosch for Mercedes, $300. Made by Bosch for Volkswagen Audi, $60. And you're wondering what the heck? And this is also made in Germany. It's not like it's made somewhere else. It's also made in Germany. And the part numbers are very similar. This was dirty, so it's kind of difficult to read, but the last part numbers end in either 044 or 044 is what it ends in. And this one that I got ends in 039. But everything else is pretty much the same, except for the last 3 digits. And the only thing I can find that's different between the two is the diameter of this pipe here. The Mercedes is a little bit thinner, meanwhile the pipe for the Volkswagen Audi is a little bit thicker, but the hose will still fit on it. Apart from that, everything else is the same. The 12-volt connector is the same. The part, it's made by Bosch. It looks the same. It will fit into this housing that's used to put inside the engine. So it's kind of weird that the same part has such a huge price difference, just because this one was inside a Mercedes, like $300, and just because this one goes inside a Volkswagen or an Audi, it's like $60 or maybe $70, I forgot. But still, a world of difference between the two in terms of price, but it's the same, pretty much the same product, with the exception of the part number that's different. So when you look for parts, especially for Mercedes, since most Mercedes parts are made by Bosch, there's a good chance you may be able to find an equivalent Volkswagen or an Audi part. The same thing for this mass airflow sensor. This mass airflow sensor for my Mercedes is actually made by Bosch, and you can see that right here. You can see the Bosch logo and then the Bosch name. And although it does have, if you look under here, you will see 2 part numbers. You will see the Bosch part number, which is on top because it has the Bosch logo, and underneath it, it has the Mercedes part number, and the and it says 112, which belongs to the 112 engine, the M112 engine, and then the rest of the Mercedes part number. Now, this one you could find, well, obviously if you go to the Mercedes dealer and then you pick up this mass airflow sensor with the Mercedes logo, you will pay a lot for it. But you could find one without the Mercedes logo, and it just says Bosch on it, and which would be, comparable to what fits in here. So it's made by Bosch, made from Mercedes, without the Mercedes logo, and you'll find it a little bit cheaper than the Mercedes branded one. So if you find that's doable, right? So if you need to replace your mass airflow sensor, you can get a cheaper one without the Mercedes logo, but make sure that the Bosch logo and the Bosch part number matches. So you'll be able to get this one at a lower price without the Mercedes logo, and it's as good as the original because Bosch is the original equipment manufacturer of this mass airflow sensor, just like Bosch is the original equipment manufacturer for this auxiliary water pump. But it just so happens that the one for Volkswagen is cheaper. Now you could also get away with if the Audi one or Volkswagen one looks exactly the same in terms of size, in terms of the hose clamping, in terms of the power connector here, you can probably get away with a Volkswagen one, but it's cheaper. But I have a feeling it's not. I have a feeling each manufacturer has their own kind of a connector, and it's probably replaced using these screws. So maybe this particular plate would be different, and maybe the size would be different. But if you need to replace your mass airflow sensor, you can pick up a Bosch one and pay less than a Mercedes one, so you can save some money there. But in this case, the Bosch one for Mercedes for some reason is expensive, but the Bosch one for Volkswagen is considerably cheaper. So I just want to point out that you can save some money by shopping around and trying to find alternate parts. Still good quality, because this is made by Bosch and it's made by Germany. It's made in Germany, so still good quality. And you don't have to get a substandard one like Victorite or anybody else that makes it, maybe made in China. They may offer it cheaper, but it's not as good as getting the one that's made in Germany, or it may not be as good as the one in Germany. I really don't know what the failure rate would be. This one lasted about 20, 18 years, 140,000 miles before it died, according to the error message. So I'm replacing it with this one. But definitely a huge savings. So if you walked into a Mercedes dealer, or if you did not know, you could essentially pay $300 just for this part alone, for this pump, and the same one that is made by Bosch with equal quality is only $60 for the one made in Volkswagen. So just be careful when you find replacement parts.